Oh. I knew I was missing something. Where's my phone so I can turn on Instagram? And then my phone is ringing. They will have to leave a message. Okay. Hello. Let me see if I can get my other light to go. I'm a little bit behind today because, oh my gosh, trying to catch up on everything from the weekend. It's been crazy. It's been crazy. Crazy. Happy, crazy, crazy, crazy. Hi. Hi, Sharon, back in Pennsylvania. Hello. What did I just do? Sorry. Trying to. Okay, got that. Okay. Got it. All right. Getting on Instagram for the peoples. We're putting on Do Not Disturb on the phone. Nope, that's the wrong button. Jeez. There was an update on the. There's an update on the. On my phone. And now my buttons are not where I want them to be. So, okay, I think I got it now. I got it. Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm sorry to be a minute or so late. It has been bananas. So I feel like these last couple of weeks have just been like with my kids and my dog and my husband's job, and then Spirit Fest this weekend. Spirit Fest was so fun. We had such a good time. It was amazing. Thank you for asking. We had such a good time. The people were amazing. Some friends that I know that like I would be a little bit surprised that they showed up were there, and they were like, "Hey, we didn't know you were going to be here," and I didn't know they were. It was just really fun. So I'm very excited. I want to say huge shout out to my friend Jessica, who was my sidekick, my right hand, my boy, she was just keeping things humming for us all weekend long. And I know the other vendors were jealous because they didn't have a Jessica. So I was just very excited and very joy filled to have my friend with me. So happy new moon. We are still we're officially now in the waxing. So we had the new moon. This is Gemini rising. This is the Aries new moon. We had the eclipse on Saturday night. Some people I know had got up super early to watch it. This is still Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde, and this is going to take us into the first week of this next one more week. So Venus is going to finish retrograde in the first week of April. Mercury is going to finish retrograde in the first week of April, and then we'll have the post window, which for Mercury will be a little bit stronger. For Venus, it's not such a worry. But this is still this time. I want to say right now with Aries, this is a time to really get grounded in our space. This is going to be a time to claim some space, to say this is mine, this is where I'm going, this is what I want to do. This is a time to really get grounded and remember who we are and remember who we want to be. Okay, so things can get a little bit blurry as we get into spring, remembering that we're welcoming back the light, right? We're welcoming back light into our lives. We had the equinox, and so and we had the time change before that, and so we're welcoming back the light because now the days are getting longer. Okay, but this is also going to come into a time of more rain, which is cleansing. And so right now this is this place of really planting our roots and standing firm in who we are and who we want to be and how we are wanting to show up in the world. And at the same time, this is going to be a really important time of growth. Okay, spring, it's not a coincidence. Aries is the spring sign, an earth sign. This is a time of growth. This is a time for us to say, how do I want to go forward from here? And so this is a question I ask you, I present to you as you are going forward for this next moon cycle. If you have not already taken some time to put some intentions, how do I want to go forward from here? Okay, and this is a question to consider. All right, so we're going to just jump right into some cards. You know what? I think I gotta grab my, oh, I left my Israeli cards. Hang on a second. Wow. So I'm still like unpacking all the stuff from the weekend and trying to get everything sorted. So it's my stuff is sort of a little bit scattered right now. So I did want to make sure that I grabbed our Malachim cards. These have been such a hit with my clients and with us on our Mondays, our Malachim cards. So I want to make sure that we didn't have that we weren't not having them. So I feel like what we want to do today. I'm feeling okay. So we're gonna grab into this deck of cards and we're going to grab into the archangels. Okay, so this is what I feel like I want to do today. Hi everyone. Hi. All right, so we want to know, right now it feels, right now it continues to feel very, very tumultuous, right? We know that there's so much that's going on. So now here's the other thing that really wants to be shared. Intention and intuition and vibration. Okay, so these are words that just come through to me that are very, very important. We want to look at what is the person's intention. Whoever it is we're interacting with, especially interacting with ourselves, what is the intention? What is the intention? Is this intention coming from a place of love? Is it coming from a place of fear? Is it coming from a place of lack, a place of growth? Hopefully we want to be coming from a place of growth. That's always the goal. We want to come from that place of what is my next best step? How do I go forward from here? And how do I want to show up in the world? So we're looking at the intention, we're feeling the vibration of the other person. Is this vibration, does this person feel like they're vibrating in truth? Are they vibrating in deception? Are they vibrating in collaboration? Are they vibrating, where do I feel my energy is being sucked out of me? Do I feel like I'm being enriched with collaboration? Okay? Collaboration should expand our energies. It's like when you have the candle lights and I have a candle and you have a candle and we will light our candles together, then we increase exponentially our light. Or you've heard me talk about the pebbles on the pond. If I drop a pebble and it goes in the water and you drop a pebble and it goes in the water, we each have our little rings of ripple, but when the rings hit each other, they create a bigger ring. Okay, so are we feeling that when we connect with another person, or are we feeling like one is overtaking another? Okay, the other, so we have intention, we have vibration, and now I can't remember what the third thing was that I said, but it is very important that, and action. Okay, so what is the person doing? Okay, is the person standing in solidarity with you? Is the person standing in support with you? Is the person standing in competition with you? Okay, and I saw that a bit this weekend. It was a really wonderful event to see all these different readers, but I saw different other, let's say other elements, other people who are also readers and healers and what have yous that were, let's say, taking note of their competition rather than saying being in collaboration. So for where my booth was situated, on one side I had an amazing woman who was an astrologer, Alicia. She was incredible. And then on the other side I had a tarot card reader who named Bibi, and next to her was another tarot card reader, a gentleman I did not get to meet, but will say that we put in a bubble of protection around us and we remained very busy and very positive, whereas the gentleman that was also a tarot card reader, his energies were not collaborative. And Bibi and I looked at each other and said, oh, we have two readers right next to each other, and that's really great because my booth, if you saw the picture, is all pink and purple and butterflies and sunshine and blah, blah, blah. And Bibi was wearing her alphabet hat and her booth was all black. And we said, you know what, people are going to be vibing with whoever is. And so people came up and they're like, oh, blah, 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 I'm looking for this. I'm like, oh, come here. And she did the same. And so we were totally working in collaboration and blessing for both of us. And with Alicia, the astrologer, as well. Go see Alicia, go, and so really supporting each other. But we did notice that there were other readers that were not, that did not come to say hi, they did not want to come and meet, they did not want to collaborate. And it's a shame because people feel like there has to be competition. And I want to bring this out into the bigger world that says we are not in competition with anybody, okay? Because the person, and this is what I say when, people call me that they want to do marketing with me or they want to do more, increase my advertising budget. I say, you know what? The people who need to find me are going to find me. And I totally believe that. And I believe that for all of us. The people who need to find us will find us. And so where we are connecting something that is meant for us is not going to go past us, okay? And so it's really important that we are allowing for things to develop and unfold, but we want to stay in our right vibration of what is our intention, what is our collaboration, what is our actions, what are our words, okay? So that we are making sure that we are staying in that higher vibration. And I get it, it's really noisy and loud right now, so it's harder to stay in that place of vibration, of higher vibration. Thank you, Krista. It's higher vibration so that we are able to be in collaboration. The thing is, if you have somebody, a car dealership, and then another car dealership, they're not in competition with each other, because somebody who wants a Honda is not looking for a Ferrari. So if you're, we're next to each other, or we're in those places, we are not in competition with anyone, okay? We're not. We're not even in competition with ourselves. We ought to be wanting to go forward rather than to be better, beat our best, do more, be more, blah, blah, blah. No, we're aiming for progress, not perfection. We're aiming for progress. We're aiming for evolution. We're aiming for evolvement, attunement. We're aiming for higher vibration. We're not aiming to finish the race. We're not aiming to claim, achieve, win. It's not competition. And I really feel like that's something that is being that's a message that really needs to come across right now, because people, it was interesting to see, you saw readers who were building these amazing relationships with each other. My Bibi, who was next to me, she came back toward the end of the day on Sunday, and she looked like she was crying. I'm like, Bibi, what's the matter? She's like crying, and she's like, I'm just so touched. This other woman just gifted me this thing, and she was just like, actions of love, stronger, more vibration, higher resolution, higher manifestation, vibrations of love, not competition. Not competition. We're not in competition with ourselves. We're not in competition with each other. Okay? So whatever it is that you are doing, or where you're going, or where you're aiming in this new moon cycle, ask yourself, how can I continue moving forward? We're not in here beating our best. We're not in here, besting our neighbor. We're not, unless you're like competing for the Olympics in running or swimming or something like that. We are not needing to beat our best. Okay? That is a very different mindset. For we who are light workers, and we who are in the communities of light, our job is to raise our vibration. Because in raising our vibration and operating from this place of love, the more we raise our vibrations, the more we are healing the planet. The planet right now is struggling. I mean, you can watch the news, and whether you're looking at the civil wars in individual nations, the wars between nations, the hurricanes, tornadoes, the earthquakes, Myanmar, please let's send some light and some prayers to Myanmar. My goodness. I mean, it is just, the earth is crying out for love. Our planet is crying out for compassion. Our planet is crying out because of the vibrations that are rising. And so we as light workers in communities of light, we want to stay, and I know it is not always easy to stay in these places of love, the vibration of love, so that we are able to say, my vibration, let my vibration please go up and heal the universe. Let my vibration please go down and heal the earth. This is something I have been adding to my prayers. May my vibration go up and heal and be benefited, blessed, and blessed by the universe. May my vibration go down and heal the earth and be blessed and be healed by the earth. Okay? When we say blessings over the trees, when I need to ground, I have this beautiful, incredible tree out in front of my house. Y'all have heard me talk about Necham on my tree, and I protect my tree. I love my tree. I'm so grateful for my tree. And when I need to ground, I go out and I put my receiving hand, which for me is my right hand. I put my receiving hand on my tree, because we have chakras in our fingertips, we have chakras in our palms. I put my receiving hand on my tree, and I receive light and love, and I imagine that it fills up the entire beingness of me. And I put my other hand facing down my hip, straight down to the bottom, and I put it facing down, so that anything that Nechama cleans it all out, and it fills me all up with her love and her wisdom and her groundedness, and anything that else is going to be pushed out through my other hand and released back to Mother Earth, released back to the earth, okay? So then I take a moment and I bring all this energy, comes in through the hand. It comes in, when it comes through the hand, it comes right to the heart, right? It comes in through the hand, it goes up the arm, it comes right to the heart. And when I get into that place, I stop and I say, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for the blessings, thank you for the peace, for the grounding, the strength, the wisdom, the compassion, the intelligence, the all of it. And then I take my other hand and I put that on the tree, because I'm giving back from my heart. I'm giving back with my outgoing energy hand. I'm giving back to the tree. I'm giving back to Nechama. I thank you. I thank you. I thank you. Thank you for your wisdom, your guidance, your groundedness, your light, your love, your oxygen, your protection of my home, my family. Thank you for all the blessings that you give me that I know about, that I don't even know about. Thank you for being with me on the journey. And we give back. Okay? So it's so important that we are keeping ourselves, because right now the earth needs us. The earth needs us. We need us. We need each other. We need to come together in this place of collaboration and light and love. And how can we lift each other and bless each other? We are not in competition with each other. Okay? All right. So I wanted to pull, I really felt like we needed some archangel support today. So I want to pull an archangel card. This is Kyle Gray's Archangels deck, and I really do like this deck so much. Gabriel, this is Gabriel, the message bringer. Divine emergence. It's time to be seen. Do not be afraid of your power and your gifts. Now that is very pertinent, wouldn't you say? It's time for us to be seen. Do not be afraid of your power and your gifts. That is extremely pertinent. These cards do not have any numbers on them. And I think that that is really remarkable message, because one of the things you all know, I choose to share what comes into my brain and comes in through my heart that wants to be shared, that wants to be channeled and to be brought to the fore. And then I will pull a card after that, so that we are pulling cards that are supporting the messages that have been given, because I believe that the cards are magnificent little eavesdroppers, so that they are listening to the things that are being shared. They're listening to your vibrations, my vibrations, and they are coming through with our divine inspiration that is bringing forward cards that are pulled that support what has been channeled and shared. The cards are absolutely incredible eavesdroppers, and in the most best possible way. Not gossipers, eavesdroppers. All right, so we've got a jumper card here already. Oh, two of them. Okay, so we're going to come back to that in a second. So I really felt pulled to use James Van Prague's messages from the guides, because we're really talking about this spiritual guidance, this really intuitive guidance today. So I pulled, so let me show you the box so you know which card deck we're using. This is such a beautiful deck. And so really... So these are the two cards that jumped out when I was shuffling, and this is take responsibility for your actions. So this is a really big theme right now, because it is up to us if we're going to heal ourselves, or if we're going to protect ourselves, if we're going to expand our energy to help lift our vibration and our vibration to lift others. Take responsibility for our actions. But the other card is thoughts create your reality. So we can live in the most wonderful reality, even in the most horrible situations. And you can hear these stories of people like Anne Frank, or prisoners of war, people who've come back from horrible, deplorable conditions from Hamas captivity in Israel, who talk about the things that they did that kept them alive, that kept their minds alive, of being able to pray in their hearts, pray in their minds, hum, sing, walk through the things that really their thoughts created their reality. They knew where they were. They knew that they were in terrible situations, but to keep hope alive and to keep their vibrations high. And I truly believe that this has something to do with why some folks have come back and are able to recover more quickly than others. And so our thoughts really can create our reality in such an amazing way. And if you know the DNA class that I taught this weekend at Spirit Fest, and that's going to be coming out for everyone very soon, is all about how our thoughts, not just our thoughts, but how our emotions and our emotional response and our emotional vibration, which is that vibration of love, really does go such a long way to creating our reality and shaping our collaborative efforts with the universe. So we have some of that. So let's pick one more card for the collective. So we have thoughts create your reality and take responsibility for your actions. Now, I do want to point this out with take responsibility for your actions. It's a very green card. Green is a color of prosperity, of money, of new adventures, but it's also a color of the heart chakra. And so this is not a card that is going, you take responsibility. This is a card that says you choose what your actions are going to be. Own your actions. This isn't like naughty, naughty. This is a card about you get to choose what you want to do and to be responsible for it. No one else gets to create your reality but you. This is a card of empowerment, not a card of shame. Okay? So it's really important that we understand that, because a lot of times, especially right now with the news, we hear things about take responsibility for your actions, but this is really about empowerment. This card is like, well, what do you want to do? You are responsible and capable and able to build your future of your vibration. So you get to choose the green, the vibration of love, the vibration of the heart chakra, and the vibration of your money and prosperity and abundance and new adventures, to be able to say, I am going to create this reality. These are the actions I choose to take. Okay, so again, it's a card of empowerment. It's not a card of shame. Okay, all right, so let's do one more card for the collective. And this is trust your intuition. Okay, trust your intuition. And I love this color, this teal color that he uses on this deck, because it's a mix of green and yellow, right? So teal comes from green and yellow, and green, of course, the heart, which we just talked about, and yellow is the solar plexus chakra, which is right below the heart chakra. So that we have this part of our solar plexus is how we view ourselves, how we take action, how we show up in the world is our solar plexus. And then we have this intuition that comes into our heart. So we're using these things that are where our vibration is really based. The solar plexus, right below the solar plexus, is the seat of creativity in the abdomen, right? And into the orange of the sacral chakra. But this is the place where we see ourselves. And so as we are trusting our intuition, it is also, our intuition comes filtered through how we see ourselves. When we see ourselves as powerful manifestors and in vibrational alignment, when we have trust our intuition, we are seeing ourselves as worthy of trusting our intuition, and we're seeing ourselves as in alignment with the universe, capable of receiving intuition that is worthy of being trusted. Okay, so teal is this beautiful color blend of the green and the yellow. Okay, so I just absolutely love it. You can, if you look carefully at the card, you can kind of see these little pieces of the different colors. All right, so we have thoughts create your reality, take responsibility for our actions, and then we have the trust your intuition. Okay, so these are our 3 cards that are guiding us for this week. Okay, so we really want to hold on to these messages. All right, so now we'll move into some individual cards for you all. Okay, so if you would like to have a card pulled, so just put it in the comments. We'll be able to pull a card for you. Now, it's not important that you share your question. If you have a particular question for yourself, you don't have to share it. You can just, know that question in your mind. The cards, like I said, they're little eavesdroppers. They don't have to hear it. They just know. So we've got Fatima over on Instagram, so we'll start there. And this is Live Your Bliss. Now this comes in with the same color pattern as taking responsibility for your actions, right? So this is Live Your Bliss. So this is about following the things that bring you joy. So we have the green, the yellow, the gold, the orange, and even into the red. So this is everything. So this card is going to have everything except for the third eye and the crown chakra. So this is telling you to stay grounded in the earth and not float off too much into our higher and up into the spirit world so much, but to be present in what's going on in your life right now, but to really follow the things that are bringing you joy. It's like breadcrumbs. When we follow the things that bring us joy, then we are following the path that the universe is trying to get us to notice. So follow the little winks, follow the things that are bringing you joy. Those are the things that are really going to help move you forward this week. Okay? All right. So we're going to go back over to Facebook, and you all are so awesome. Oh my goodness. Let's see. All right, so Belinda was first, and then Melissa. And Melissa, you and Stephen are right next to each other in the comments again. It cracks me up. All right, so we're going to start with Belinda. All right, Belinda. Card for Belinda. This is You Are Here for a Reason. Now, Belinda, this card also has the yellow and the orange, but the pink and the blue. So this card, Belinda, this is talking about you are here for a reason, but this is talking about, this card is asking you to get quiet and to really listen to your heart, okay? So there's a place where you are spending a bit more time trying to listen to others' hearts, trying to listen to what you feel like maybe you're supposed to do for others. And this card is saying, no, let's bring it back to you. It's time for you to be a little bit selfish, Belinda, and bring it back to you and feel what it is that you want right now, especially in this retrograde time with Venus relationship retrograde and Mercury retrograde with communication, to really bring it back to what it is that is going to be important to you for your heart. You are here for a reason, and it's giving you we have the yellow and the orange up here saying, okay, we have this time to be in the earth chakras, but now we want to really ground into the higher vibration, the more spiritually aligned chakras of the pinks and the blues, okay, and the purples. So Belinda, this is a really time for you to be a little bit selfish, to get quiet and say, what does my heart want? And to go with that right now, because this is really, they're saying, a time of expansion for Belinda, okay? So love that. All right, so we've got Melissa. Thank you, Chris. We have Melissa. So Melissa, this is kindness counts. Okay, this is kindness counts. And what I want to say about this card is it is so important that the first place that we are kind is to ourselves. And so you'll see that this is up in the clouds, is very peaceful, is very clear and serene with the little stars. You've even got a little planet over there. Okay, so this is about being kind to ourselves, Melissa. So kindness counts, but the place we want to start with kindness is with our own self. So ask yourself, where can I be a little bit nicer to myself right now, especially with Venus and Mercury retrograde. So a lot of energy in the new moon, right? This is Aries new moon. This is Aries, is the spring cycle. It's the start of the zodiac. Where can we be a little bit kinder to ourselves? Okay, and asking yourself really what Belinda's card was as well. What do I want? But I want to encourage you to ask. Oh, hang on. My washing machine is having a conniption, and I don't know if you can hear it, but I sure can. So to be able to say, what is my next best step to bring me joy? What is one thing I can do right now that will help increase joy? Melissa, what is one thing you can do right now that will increase joy? Okay, and so kindness counts. We want to be kindest starting with ourselves. Okay, all right, so now we're going to have Stephen, who's right below Melissa's. Next in the comments is Stephen, and so we're going to shuffle for that. Always cracks me up when the two of you come in together. And for those of you who are not aware, Stephen and Melissa know each other. So it just cracks me up when they come in right together with their comments like this. So, oh, hello. There's Riley. Hi. Hi. Pause, please. Pause, please. Hi. Are you coming over here? Hello. This is Riley. He's giant. He's like my 20-pound cat. He's a giant, but he missed me this weekend. Oh, he's so big. He's like really like my 20-pound cat. Hi. So he's been hanging out with me a little bit more. All right, so where are we? Okay, where are we? Oops, hang on. I'm so sorry, Sharon. Let's make sure. Nope, didn't skip you. Not yet. We're on Stephen. Just didn't get to you yet, Sharon. Okay, so this is Stephen's card. And so, Stephen, this is love is your energy. And I feel like this is very appropriate for you because I think you know this about yourself. So this is love is your energy. And so the thing I want to share that is really coming through with this card, again, the blues and the pinks, but the pink is into that love. But in the pink, we have the yellow as well. So it's really important that we are honoring he is a cutie, isn't he? So we are honoring the parts of our heart, right? We're honoring the place of love. We're honoring ourself, right? That yellow, that solar plexus chakra, Stephen. But this is really about leading with love, okay? And I feel like this is a confirmation card for you because I know you a little bit, and I feel like that's usually your MO. We want to lead with love. And so, but it does feel like, hello, can you stop knocking everything off on my desk? So we do want to lead with love, and come here. You are too big. Can you come here? Can you be here in the drawer? Oh, it's not in the drawer. No, he's just knocking everything over. So, Stephen, my apologies. So I do want to encourage you to lead with love, but it does feel like that this is taking this into a new space because you are a person who leads with love. And so I want to ask you this question about this card of love is your energy, Stephen, is where else can you be leading with love? Where else can you be leading with love? And so that's really the question that is coming in from this card, okay? Where else can we have that to be in your world, in your life, that you can lead with love in more places, okay? Because that's going to continue to raise your vibration, because it feels like your vibration is kind of is a little uneven. So we're raised over here, but we're not raised over here. So this is asking you to spread it out a little bit more to increase your vibration across the board, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. All right, Claudette, then we have Sharon. So we would never forget you, Sharon. All right, so we have Claudette, okay? All right, Claudette, want to understand your body. So this is going to be about getting grounded in yourself, which I know that you are very good with that, but I wanted you to ask your body to be your own pendulum, okay? So when we stand, we can use pendulums, right? Beautiful crystals on a chain, but when we stand with our feet planted in the earth, about shoulder width apart, we can ask the universe, we take a minute, we get grounded, and we say, show me a yes, and feel where your body moves. Very often people with a yes will lean forward. You'll feel your body just unconsciously just move forward. And then we ask, we breathe, and we get grounded again, and we say, show me a no. and we find that our body moves in some other kind of a way, whether it's backwards or to the side or what have you. And so this is asking, Claudette, for you to get a little bit more connected with your body. This is green. This is all green, so it's going to be heart and prosperity, but it is so much about listening to the body, and it feels like there's some place that we're missing. There's a bit of a disconnect, and so I'm asking you to consider this human pendulum part, where we use our own body as the pendulum. It's a fascinating way to really ask questions of the universe, but to really use your own body to find your truest truth, because it feels like there's some piece of truth that's maybe got a little bit of a cover over it. And so when you're using your body kind of like that muscle testing, Claudette, you're going to be able to really move yourself forward and get to the truth of the truthiest of your truth. Okay, so if you can't find a pendulum, you can use a necklace. I keep this on my desk. This has been here forever. This is just a string with 2 beads. Okay, so you can use a necklace, a chain. This is literally just a piece of yarn that has 2 beads. It's got a smaller one and a bigger one, and it was from a class I took a billion years ago, and I just keep it on my desk to remind. You can use anything as a pendulum, but when you know what, you're falling and you can't get up button works pretty well. We can use our own body, so we don't have to have an actual chain. We can stand with our feet on hip or shoulder width apart. We take a couple breaths, we get grounded. My cat is now sleeping in the drawer here, hanging his whole head over the side of the drawer. It's hilarious. He likes to do that. And that we can use our body and say, okay, show me a yes. When we start to work with a pendulum, we ask it to show me a yes, and it'll move, and then we hold it steady again, and we say, show me a no. We do the same thing with our body, okay? So it is, but when we use a pendulum in our hand, we can consciously or unconsciously wiggle it, okay, whether we mean to or not. When we use our body and we plant our feet, there's no wiggling, there's no confusion. You're going in a direction. Your body knows the truth. And so this is what's asking about, to get to that truth. Okay, Stephen, you are very welcome. All right, so hopefully, Claudette, that makes sense for you. All right, Sharon. All right, we've got Sharon's turn now. Okay. All right, this is asking for guidance. And Sharon, I know you've been right on about this. And so this also is reminding about lighting a candle. So you might light a candle, and I know, so it's not a yard side candle, but there are spirit candles, there are wish candles, candles of intention. So you may choose to light a candle because this is showing you a flame that's right here. And so if you look at this card, it really looks like it's a candle. So we don't want to discount that at all. But this is asking for guidance. And Sharon, really, what is the next best step for you, not for somebody else? I want to clarify, this is what is your next best step for you, because it feels like there's a little bit, see how it's black up here at the top? It feels like there's a little bit of a lostness, like we haven't quite figured out, like I know there's all this stuff that's going on, to be able to know what is the next best step for you, okay? Not what is the next best step for somebody else. Sharon, this is a time, again, a moment to be a little bit selfish, okay? Just to be able to say, what is the next best step for me, okay? And especially as you're now back up in the north, to be able to, change your geography, you're changing your energy, you're changing a little of those things because you're now in a whole different environment. What do I need to know now? What is my next best step, okay? So that's where that's going to be for Sharon. All right, for Chris. For Chris, abundance is your right. Abundance is your right. I don't know that there's a lot of explanation that needs to come with this card because we talk, Chris and I talk quite often. Chris and I talk quite often, and we have been talking quite a lot about abundance with Chris. And so this is, I love that this card is a very strong confirmation, especially as we're coming to the very last day of March. We're coming into April. That's going to be a really abundant month for you. So this is telling you that you are 100% right on the right track and that you are moving in all the right directions. Abundance is your right, and blessings, blessings, blessings are coming in your direction. So yay! And we want to own that. We want to believe into that and lean into that. We want to own that because that, of course, raises your own vibration into that belief and allows that to be further empowered in co-creation with the universe. Okay, so I love that for you. All right, let's check out the comments. All right, Sharon says that's right on. I've been asking for guidance about a dream I had a while ago, trying to figure it out. So let me say this about a dream. If you have dreams, it is so important if you can get a dream journal where you can write it down, keep the book next to your bed and write it down really, quickly before you fully wake up. I know sometimes that's hard because we got to wake up to write it down. So I will often use the voice notes in my phone, and I just grab my phone and go, I just dreamed that I had, and then I can come back to it later and put it in my dream journal. The reason this is so important is because once our mind gets back in alignment with our body and we wake up, we will forget. We will forget. We won't remember it later. We'll forget key details. And when we can start keeping track of our dreams, we can see the pieces of the puzzle coming together. So when we've had dreams and maybe we don't always understand it, and then Sharon, if you want to message me privately the details of the dream, I'm so happy to help you with some dream interpretation. I love doing that. It's really fun. And for me. So we can, but we want to really try and keep track of the dreams, because of the details, because we may see a story unfolding, but in our dreams the stories don't unfold in linear time. Like they're not going first chapter, second chapter, third chapter. Okay. And just for general information with dream interpretation, whatever is the main subject of the dream is very often you. Okay. So if there's a car or a boat or a plane, ask yourself, am I the car, the boat, or the plane? Okay, so it's, a great opportunity to look at some of that. So, okay, so Claudette says, Melody, my body always rocks forward like a drunk person who's off balance. Okay, yeah, it's true. And what else did Claudette say? Doctors can't explain the rocking. So perhaps, Claudette, we need to look at that in the pendulum sense and say, what is it that is causing this rocking? What is it that is, like, where am I trying to go? Where am I trying to get to with this? Okay. All right, so let's back it up to where we were before. We did Claudette, we did Sharon, we did Chris. All right, so I think it's Ellen's turn and then Catherine's turn. And as Chris said, if Robin is still here. So Ellen, so we've got Ellen, never judge another. So Ellen, this is really important. And it's not it's not a naughty card, okay? But the first person we tend to judge is ourselves, okay? And so as this card is very green, but you can see over here it has a little bit of this blue in there. It's peeking in, and this comes in and like, hey. So Ellen, the never judge another card is reminding us to be kinder to ourselves. Remember, green, heart chakra, okay? It's reminding us to not judge ourselves, okay? So it's not saying don't judge yourself, but that's the message, okay? Because that comes in as a weird phrase for a card like this. But so the don't judge others really starts with ourselves. The cards always start with we start at home first, right? So Ellen, this is asking you, where are you being a little bit hard on yourself? Where can you let yourself off the hook? Where can you ease up on what you're striving or working towards, or how you're feeling like you're not being enoughness? So this card is saying, hey, green, heart chakra, let's love ourselves. Let's love ourselves. We'll start there, and everything else can work itself out. Okay, so Ellen's a little bit of love, extra love going your way. Okay, all right, so we've got Catherine. Let's see. Welcome. All right, so it's Catherine's turn. He is such a pretty cat. I wish I could totally show you like this cat. He is this 18-pound cat is now sitting in my desk drawer. Where, if you've been following me for all, Bo sits there, Toby sat there. So, all right. So Catherine, this card is worry is a wasted emotion. Okay. So Catherine, I want you to ask, what can you let go of? What can you let go of, and just trust that it's being handled. So you might want to look at the ritual of the cups, which we've talked about here before, and we can certainly explain that to you as well. But you want to look at starting at this place of gratitude. Okay, gratitude for the things that go right, because when we get in places of stress and pressure, and we are oh my gosh, like we get all like, everything is so going wrong, it's going wrong, we forget to look for the blessings. And so this card is reminding you to look for the blessings, that even when the shit is hitting the fan, there's something somewhere in there that we can find that's a blessing. Okay, there's something in there that there is a blessing. Okay, I don't always know what it is, and we might not always be able to see it in the moment because we're in it, but there's some place of blessing. So take a moment and be able to say, okay, what is it that I'm worrying about? What can I do to release this worry? What can I do to empower something else? So you heard me talk about Stephen's energy being a little off balance a little bit ago, a couple minutes ago. So when we get into that, we can really tip that scales of the energy, and so our energy gets off balance. So we want to say, okay, what can I do to raise up the energy? And one of the things we can do with when we start to worry about something is, where is this coming from? Is this my worry? Am I worrying about this? Do I have the ability to control this or fix this? And then also, what can I do to let this go? I'm going to send the prayer up, and always we start with gratitude in the prayers and the blessings today. Thank you so much for the ability to communicate, for the ability to ask, for the ability for gratitude, whatever it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So that, can you please help me with this? Okay, so anytime we're asking up to the angels, the higher, we start from that place of gratitude. But it's asking for what is it that you're worrying about that maybe you don't control, because it does feel like you're worrying about something that is not in your control. And if it's not in your control, then we want to try and let it go. We want to try and say to the higher, thank you for helping me have this come to conclusion in the best possible way. So rather than saying, please help, please help, please help, please help me, we're saying, thank you for helping me bring this to the best possible conclusion. Okay, so we're coming from this place of gratitude instead of this place of worry. Okay, hi Kathleen. Okay. I didn't skip you. Guys are so funny. I didn't skip you. Trust me. All right. Let me see. Comments. Your welcomes. And Tracy. Yes, absolutely. And I find that all this stuff is really good advice for all of us. Hi, Lori. Hi, welcome. All right, so Tracy, card for Tracy. This is like attracts like. And so Tracy, this card is all the blue and the purples and the pinks, and reminding you that your throat, what you're saying, your third eye, what you're seeing, believing, what you're feeling into. Okay, all of these things are inviting you to raise your vibration so that you are vibrating at a higher level, so that you're attracting those who are going to vibrate with you. We often get in a place where we're hanging around with people who have a lower vibration. Sometimes we get attracted to that because we're like, we could take the high road and we can feel good about ourselves in that space, because we're like, I see you down there. I'm kind of attracted, because we get a little ego going in there. When we can, but then we're lowering our vibration. We're lowering our own selves down. And to be able to bring ourselves up and fill ourselves up with that love and gratitude energy, we're like, okay, and here's the thing. If you're trying to fill yourself up with love and gratitude, pick, what is your favorite memory? What is your most favorite memory? What is your favorite thing you ever got to do? And hopefully there's a lot to choose from, but think of something and just live in that memory for a second, for a moment. Take yourself out of your own brain and stick yourself in that memory of when you got to do that thing, when you got to hold your first grandchild, when you watched your own child graduate from college, or where you helped somebody ride a bike, or whatever it is. Okay, what is that? And they're like, oh man, that was so awesome. Energy, vibration up. The minute we lean into that love and that joy and that excitement, and God, that was so freaking cool, vibration goes up. And that's where we want to live in. We don't have to go dig it out of a drawer. We don't have to, okay, I'm raising my vibration, We don't have to do all that. We lean into the place of love and joy and gratitude, something that was wonderful and fabulous and that brought us joy. And even if you're living in it for that moment, vibration, shoo. Okay, and then we are able to say, like attracts like. What do I want to attract in my life? Oh my gosh, I'm in the most highest place, the love vibration. This was such a great memory. What can I use this to attract? What do I want to bring into my life? This is where I want to vibrate from, is from up here, not from this place of lack and worry. Okay, so this is this like attract life. So really, Tracy, take a look at where is your vibration? Where are you humming? Okay, where are you humming? And there's actually a chart. I should probably find it. There's actually charts where you can get a chart that shows the vibrations, like which ones are low, which we know, but which ones are high. And say well, what else can I attract? So what else do you want to manifest into your life? Because love is, and gratitude, joy, these are the high ring the bell vibrations. We want to stay in those, and that's the place we want to work from. So whatever it is you're sitting down to do, and be able to say, Tracy, they're talking about this is a time of expansion and manifestation for you, but they want to make sure you're coming at it from the right place. Okay, you want a manifestation from the balcony and not from the back of the parking lot. Lori says her love for kids is what really brings her joy and helps raise her vibration. Absolutely. Well, so the reason I don't get mad when Riley comes up on my desk is because Riley, this cat. Okay, some of you know the story of Riley. He was this tiny little thing when he was rescued by a friend who found him under a dumpster in a 7-Eleven parking lot, and nobody wanted him. And he's this white cat with black angel wings. And he was so shy and bashful. So when when he comes out to seek out attention, I want to make sure I am loving on him and petting him, because he was so shy and bashful for the first 2 years. He wouldn't even let anybody look at him. That wasn't like the four of us that actually, like my immediate family, my husband and myself and my boys. So nobody else could even look at him. He'd run away. And so when he comes up on my desk and he's like, hello, and I'm going to walk across the camera, like that's something that brings me so much joy, because he is, he is growing and expanding. So we are all choosing that we're all growing and expanding. Let's make sure we're doing it in the right way, and then we're doing it from the most highest vibration. Because Tracy, it does feel like there's a wonderful expansion, that you're coming right now into this place of power, girl. So what do you want? What do you want that to be? What do you want that to look like? Use your power wisely. So what is it that you want to do? Because right now is the time to ask. Right now is absolutely the time to ask. So, all right, we're going to finish up with this one last card. And this is, I love this one. This is Follow the Golden Rule. Okay, it has all the colors on it, all the chakras, all the colors. And Follow the Golden Rule reminds us to come from a place of kindness, of compassion, to remember that we're all doing the best that we can with the abilities and the circumstances that we have at the time, and to lead from compassion. We compassion ourselves first, we lead from kindness first, and that we move ourselves forward regardless of what anybody else is doing, regardless of anybody, anything else. We are moving forward in expansion and in a place of love for ourselves and love for others, and everything else will fall into place. How much more expansion is there for an 18-pound cow? I know, he's so big. Well, so years ago when we were still in Los Angeles, we had Winston. And Winston was about 22 pounds. He was a giant cat. And Winston, you could hold him on your shoulder like a toddler. And Riley is right in there. So he got so big. Cats, they really are. Their senses of... Riley is the one who loves to sleep on the window seat in my reading room, because he just likes to absorb all the energy and stuff. And cats are really great at filtering the energy. So if you need to change a vibe, having a cat is very often, if you're able to, I'm petting him, it is something that is really... can change a vibe really fast. And dogs, I know some people are dog people, some people are cat people. I'm a little of both. I've got Bo is right down here. Bo is the Chihuahua. He's being very, very unhappy that Riley is in his drawer right now. So I'm going to have to go deal with that. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for spending some time. I so look forward to seeing you again every single week. Thank you so much for being here. Newsletter went out today. So if you're not on my email list, make sure that you are letting me know your email address privately, so that we can get you on the email list. And it's spring. So if it's time for your spring session, your spring reading, let me know. Let's get you scheduled. All right. Have a fantastic week, and always, always remember how very much you are loved. Mwah! See you next week.